I am so excited to drop in with this and to start bringing a lot more of this in at Broad Coven in 2024. I am going to dive into a solar return read for those who are born with the Native American birth totem of the snow goose, which is associated with Capricorn in Western astrology. It's for those born between December 22nd and January 19th. You were born under what is considered the first moon of the year on the medicine wheel. And it's the moon that's known as the Earth Renewal Moon. It's associated with the white buffalo, who is the spirit keeper of the north wind. And the north is also your power direction. It's where you get inspiration. It's where you can receive guidance. And it comes through that white buffalo medicine. So white buffalo is the medicine of grace, is the medicine of gratitude, gratitude for blessings that have not yet been received. It's also the direction that you can turn to experience purification of the mind and help you settle into a place of trusting, release, and tranquility, knowing that you're held by great spirit, and just to still the thoughts, to get a great clarity so your vision can come through unobstructed, which is a really essential piece of your purpose and why you're here. You are here to be a clear conduit, Snow Goose, and you are here to run the universal life force energy in such a way that it serves your community. So many of you are natural healers. Many of you might feel drawn to healing arts such as Reiki. You might be drawn to Tai Chi, more subtle forms of energy healing. Things like sound baths and working with singing bowls. All of these things may speak very strongly to you. It's so important that you keep your energy running clearly, because you have the potential to hold a great amount of power. But with great power also comes great responsibility. And so this is one of the challenges on your path, to really ward against blockages in your energy body that can prevent you from being a clear conduit. And we have to remember that when we're looking at spirit, we automatically look at mind, and we look at emotions, and we look at the physical body as well. So it's also about keeping the flow going in these areas too, so you don't become too rigid, too stuck, too stubborn, or too fixated in a certain position that doesn't allow you the fluidity you need to truly be an alchemist on your path and keep that channel really clear, so you can just be like a direct line to this universal life force energy that wants to pour through you. And for you, it really is about holding that balance of fluidity and stability. And I've said it for the longest time that I feel, even though you're not traditionally associated with temperance in the tarot, that's a card that's associated with Sagittarius, I feel that Capricorn also really holds that energy too, of being able to stay in that place of the center balancing point. It is the sea goat, okay? So there's that earth quality and the water quality and the blending of two. And through the blending is where we get the growth, right? Because if you have too much water, then it can inundate the earth and then it can spoil the crop. But where you have just the right balance in there, it brings so much fecundity, growth, beauty. And I feel like you really know how to hold that energy masterfully. You are known as the goat in Western astrology. And this energy with the snow goose puts a little bit of a different kind of slant on your energy. I think it helps people tap more into the graceful side, the real dignified side, the very stable in such a grounded, beautiful, trusting way that a lot of people tend to gloss over when it comes to Capricorn in general. So I like the influence that the Native American birth totems bring in. You have a lot of knowledge that you hold, and a lot of it is just encoded in your DNA. You're very tapped into your roots, and you very much value that which is associated with the roots. You value oral tradition, the stories that have been passed down through your bloodline. You value tradition in general, and ritual is a very grounding thing for you because it speaks very strongly to those roots and nourishing your roots. Nourishing your roots are important to you. Nourishing your root, that grounding energy. Again, you know, yes, you're known to be very stable. You're known to be very resilient. You're known to be very determined. You're known to be very strong and reliable. You are also known to be extremely focused. Once you set your vision, there's no stopping you. You are the most likely to succeed. When you have set your sights on something, your vision is very focused and it has amazing precision just in executing, you know, the plan that you lay out. And Ted just gave you a little yelp of confirmation there. I don't know if you heard that or not, but the beautiful thing about you is that your vision serves the community. You know, there is a very altruistic side of Capricorn that doesn't just think of oneself, but also thinks of the community as a whole. And this really comes through in the snow goose, a Native American birth totem. So just a really beautiful energy. You do hold a great sense of responsibility. You are known to be able to really hold it down. You are known to be able to provide that kind of grounding, that stability that people really, you know, reach for when they're feeling like they're on shaky ground. But it's important that you don't keep yourself too bound to duty. It's also important that you remember to let loose, you know, let your hair down a bit, let yourself have some fun. And while you may be success oriented, you know, it's important to have a nice balance too, right? So, you know, yes, focus on the earth, focus on the pentacles, focus on building that wealth, that solvency, that legacy you want to leave behind. But at the same time, remember to have some flow, you know? Remember to go with the flow. Remember to just enjoy yourself. And what's interesting is despite the fact that, you know, Snow Goose tends to be very success oriented, they're not competitive except with themselves. When they're looking back, it's sort of like old versions of themselves and just really wanting to supersede where they were before. You are always focused on growth. And in fact, if you're not having that upward trajectory, it can feel, you know, it can feel like it sort of weighs you down, you know. With your direction being the north, we also think of the north node. So you always have your sights set on, you know, that North Star, that direction that makes you feel like you're landing in the place of belonging, where you're very aligned with your purpose, where you're reaching for your destiny. And that is something about you, you know, once you set your sights and you have your vision, you move forward very, very powerfully. I feel like 2024 is the year that your vision is really going to be awakening in you. And there's certain things that you can bring in that will actually support you in just helping to really work your medicines. We already brought in, you know, the piece about working with the direction of north. That is your power spot. So you might want to even look at the north area of your home, doing something there to maybe bring in some kind of symbols. It can be anything from a vision board to a simple altar you create, to a shelf you dedicate that brings in some of your supportive medicines, maybe brings in something that reminds you of your birth totem. You could have, you know, a picture of a snow goose there, maybe bring in some white buffalo imagery. You could also bring in your power mineral, which for you is quartz. And Herkimer diamond is a wonderful form of quartz that you can work with. It's indicative to the New York energy. Okay, it's the only place where you can find them. It's they're found in New York, and This particular form of quartz is excellent for clearing the energy body. And you can find these, you know, you can easily get your hands on one of these. You can order them online. There's some that even have inclusions of like water within them that they look like little bubbles. You can find them. You can do a search for it, you know, Herkimer diamond with water inclusions. And if you could get your hands on one of those, that would probably be excellent for you, because it really combines the energies that you hold, both earth and water, which is also the elementals that snow goose holds. They hold the earth and they hold the water. You think about when you see geese in the wild, they obviously like to, you know, glide about on the pond, but they also take flight and they're of the earth, you know, they walk on the earth, you know. There's that interesting piece though. It's like they do also have almost that elemental of air there too, just being a feathered creature. But traditionally they're associated with that energy of earth and water in Native American philosophy. You know, it may vary from tribe to tribe because it is a little different depending on the different tribes, but just having some clear quartz, you know, that's something you could put in the north as well, you know, any kind of like quartz statues you find, but just kind of clearing your energy body, maybe like allowing yourself to just relax, especially like on the third eye point, to just clear out the consciousness so you can have that clarity of vision, since you holding the vision and also holding the vision for the community or the collective is like central to your purpose. This might be something that's very helpful to you. You could also add clear quartz to like any kind of purification baths that you want to do, along with your mineral salts, and whatever other touches you want to add to your baths can be very beneficial just for keeping your energy body clear. The old Edgar Cayce remedy, 2 cups baking soda to 2 cups Epsom salt or sea salt, soaking for 20 minutes and then just letting that energy run down the drain, is a really great way to just sort of like clean the slate energetically. And even though it's not one of your power minerals, I highly recommend that you get your hands on some selenite, because selenite, especially like a wand like this, it's so simple. You can just run it down your hara line, down your chakra center line, and you'll instantly feel it clear your energy field. And it's got a really beautiful, soft, kind of silky energy. It's associated with angelic energy as well. And I don't know why, but I'm really feeling this coming in for you too. Selenite, I think the combination. And for you, it's not just clear quartz, it's quartz in general. I'm picking up a specific sort of like a specific combination for you. You could work with these and like laying out a crystal grid. Maybe you could even lay out a crystal grid in that north area of your home. You might also want to put together like a little medicine bag, something where you can carry these on you. But I'm picking this up for you, this combination of selenite, Herkimer diamond, rose quartz, and angelite. This is coming in. And howlite, interesting. Well, that makes sense. Howlite is white, and white is your power color. So I feel like this would just be good though for attuning your energy for what's wanting to come in for you. Your power plant is actually a tree, and it is birch. So there's a lot of ways you can work with that too. I mean, you can sometimes even find birch beers, you know. So maybe you can experiment, maybe look at some different tinctures. Sometimes you can find different tinctures that you can take internally that can align you with your different plant medicines. And I'm pretty certain that I've seen some associated with birch. So this might be something you want to explore. These are things that can just help you to kind of like keep your energy clear. They can really put you in your element, and it's actually just very balancing for you. But I am picking that up with a crystal specifically. So you could do like a crystal grid, like I was saying, carry them on your person, or tuck them in your bra. I know some of us like to do that, kind of carry them that way, all right? But that works, okay? And that'll just help you really keep your energy nice and clear, because while you do have the potential for holding great power, and you are meant to like hold this communal vision, it's part of your greater purpose, there's still this piece that you have to be mindful of the responsibility that comes with that. So in other words, if you kind of like fumble the bag in that respect and you aren't clear, and then the power comes through distorted, you know, you also tend to get really held to the mat for that a lot more than somebody else would, let's say, you know. So there is this piece about being very mindful of this medicine you hold, and the gift that it is, and to use it very responsibly. And part of the responsibility of that is just to make sure that you're always just like kind of clearing your energy, clearing your mind, you know. So if you're ever feeling like you're in a position where your thoughts are kind of all over the place and you feel stressed out, and you can't seem to just get that serenity that allows you to get that laser light focus that you're known for, that would be a good time for you to kind of like, you know, take a break. You know, maybe go outside, you know, face the north and ask for direction to come in and sit in a little meditation, you know, see what comes through. Maybe work with those crystals, or take an energy clearing bath and just allow yourself to sort of like clean the slate. That's what it's really about for you. It's just, this is what can get in your way sometimes, is that you'll go really in your head because you also tend to be perfectionistic. You know, it has to be just so. You're somebody who has such focus that you're very aware of all the details. And sometimes, you know, the devil can be in those details. And it was 17:11 on the clock when I said that. Yes, you know, when you're actively trying to bring your visualizations into manifestation and you're working to align all of that, that's something that can be kind of like frustrating for you and cause a lot of consternation, is just getting so fixated on the details and it having to be just so imperfect that it doesn't allow you sometimes to have that creative flow that you're really meant to embody as well. You know, it's the both. It's about really holding that balance between the flow and the stability. That's like your magic PowerPoint. So these are some things that you can bring in just to support you, but we're going to get a little look at what's ahead for you, all right, in 2024, and how your solar return year is going to roll out for you. I'm going to start first by getting you a Sacred Rebels Oracle that's going to give just sort of an overarching theme to your year. And then from there, we'll see what other decks we're led to. And we'll just let the message coming in for your solar return unfold. So, Great Spirit, what is the focus for Snow Goose in this solar return? What is coming in for them throughout this next year of their life? Where should their focus be? What lessons do the ancestors have to impart on Snow Goose as they move through their solar return? Okay, bottom of the deck energy. I love this. Heaven sent. I mean, you don't get more due north than heaven, right? So there's that piece again. Do you see the way that the upper channels here are all lit up? You are this channel for this energy. You're a conduit for this energy. And I feel like this is really sort of alerting you that there is a vision that's awakening for you this year. I feel like meditation could be something that could be a very beneficial practice for you. For some of you, I'm getting a meditation, though, that allows creativity to come through simultaneously. And for some reason, I'm picking up like mandala work, like drawing, coloring mandalas, you know, might be something that can help you sort of have a place to sort of place your thoughts as you explore your creative ideas and build your vision. It can get some of those other distractions out of the way, like maybe insecurities or doubts that you may have, or when you find yourself getting a little too perfectionistic, and so then you end up with, let's say, like writer's block, or you just feel like the creativity isn't flowing. That might be a helpful way for you to channel your energy. It can be just a place where you can kind of empty the mind, but through doing something that activates the consciousness at the same time. But I do feel like there is a vision that's going to be awakening for you. It's an inspiration that's coming in. So I do feel this activation of the muse for you. I think when this comes in, it's important that you pay attention to it, because with number 33 here, this is a building block for your future. I think that you might be getting aligned with a particular guide or a particular spiritual lineage that's going to set you on a new path of exploration. I'm keen into the Shri Yantra. It's very hard to pick up on camera here. But there's a Shri Yantra here, which is something that's used in the Vedas, okay? So some of you may be drawn to holistic practices like Ayurveda. You may be drawn to yoga. You may be drawn to working with mantras or exploring some of these traditions. You might be diving into transcendental meditation and just opening up your consciousness in a new way. But there's this piece here of it being a building block for your future. Whatever vision is coming in for you and whatever this activation is that's happening on a more spiritual level, it's actually giving you a building block for your future that will lead to the manifestation of a lot of material abundance in your life. So for some of you, this is really heading into a new career direction that is either more holistically health oriented, such as becoming a yoga teacher, or teaching meditation, or bringing some component of this into the work you do, or maybe doing some kind of energy healing work, you know, getting involved in a more metaphysical type of field. All right, I could see all of these things coming in. Some of you may do work as a channel. You may do work on a channel. I don't know, that just came in on YouTube. Maybe you have your own gift of the clairs, and you thought of maybe offering readings or offering something like this. This might be something you're branching off into. Whatever is coming in here, it's definitely inspired. It's like one of those things where it just funnels in you one day, and then you know, like, I have to bring this into being. Like, I'm meant to do this. And I do feel like the more that you can kind of create these spaces to just drop in and listen, the more that you will be guided in the steps you need to take to bring this thing forward. I also feel like you may have a teacher, or you may have a guide or a mentor, someone who comes in that helps you step into this. When you meet this person, you'll feel like the connection is super kismet, like this was meant to be. Like, I feel like I've known you my whole life. There's just something about the way that this syncs up that it feels heaven sent. And this is a big building block for your future. You'll create something with this person. Either they help you build a certain foundational understanding or knowledge that guarantees the success of what you're going to build off of this idea, or they're partnering with you on this, and something really beautiful results that I feel like I'm noticing, like, kind of there's all these circles here, you know, sort of spiraling out. And so again, it reminds me of this concept of, like, it's not just about you, it sort of radiates out from you and it serves the greater community. There's something about your vision that's birthed here that goes beyond just what works for you. You may actually be really inspired to focus on a specific issue that needs to be addressed on a global level or a collective level, and you are really honing in on this one particular area, and you're coming up with something that's very innovative and it can bring support exactly where it's needed. It solves some fundamental issue, but there's some component of it that has to do with healing and growth and getting out of the consciousness of it just being about, you know, me, and having it be more about we. You may even be, you know, growing some kind of community. So I could see this if you have like a platform, you could be growing some kind of community, developing some kind of community. I feel like this is the year that you come into alignment with the first keys about your purpose. And your purpose in the form of what work are you here to do? And this work in turn not only feeds your soul, but it's also going to really feed your financial stability. Yes. And all you need to do is create spaces to listen for this truth that wants to emerge. There's remembering here. I don't know why, but I got Lemurian vibes. Okay. So I don't know if you resonate with that, if you've been drawn to the Lemurians, but I feel like there's some kind of, remember, you go to the roots, okay? So there's something here, and I'm noticing that sea energy, and it's making me think of like recalling something that's sort of like encoded, like I was saying before, in your DNA, in your Akashic records. This is something that's waking up in you. And like I said, there's some vision that's coming forward here. All you have to do is create the space for it to come in. I really got that. Your main focus right now is to just keep your energy clear. So when we're thinking about keeping our energy clear, it's also important that we're mindful about how different situations, different people that we're associating with, certain activities, habits we may have, how these things are also influencing our energy, and make adjustments accordingly. So I feel like there's this piece too of using your focus, you know, your keen insight to be able to clue into those areas that disrupt your energy or create blockages on your path, because that is a challenge for Snow Goose, is to encounter blockages. And a lot of times these blockages can be perpetuated from lack of fluidity, you know, being in too fixed of a position, being too stubborn, you know, hunkering down into that earth energy too much where you become intractable, like I can only see it this way, or being too perfectionistic that it becomes rigidity and it creates a block. But we have to remember when we're looking at blocks, it's not just the physical blocks or what we see in the material reality as an obstacle on our path toward the success we want to see, but it can also be physical health blocks. So blockages in the lymphatic system, which does what? Prevents that flow. Also prevents the emotional flow, because the emotions are very intimately connected with the lymphatic system. If you haven't had a good cry in a long time and you know that you have pent up emotion to release, and for this to be coming in, maybe you really need that. You know, you need those salty tears to kind of do a little purification of the big cycle you're closing. I feel you're closing a major cycle, and it's clearing the way, it's clearing the avenue for this new inspiration to come through you that's going to be activated. That's very much an ignition of your purpose through your life's work. This fell on the ground. What do we got here? Yes, look. Oh, look, she's got the tears flowing. Softly, softly, the tender touch as your purpose is activated. Look at Vishuddha, the throat chakra there activated, and she's speaking it into existence. Crown lit. This is you. This is you this year, this vision awakening. But I feel like part of the blockage may be some things that need to be released, you know, some emotions that need to be released. I just got shame that needs to be released. Maybe at one point there was somehow shame associated with your gifts, whether that be your sensitivity or your creativity. You know, something that you shared was not received with the warmest reception or acknowledged for the gift that it was. And there's something about you getting beyond this. You know, there's this saying associated with the lotus. Look at this beautiful bejeweled lotus that's at the top of the crown there. Sahasrara chakra, you know, just all lit up. I love how your upper channels here are all lit. You're building a bridge from the heart and you're getting over it and you're rising up. You're not going to be grounded anymore. You're not going to be held down anymore. You're not going to stay small anymore or hold back any of that beautiful, rich sensitivity that you have to impart. There's so much misunderstanding, I feel, when we look through the lens of reflecting, you know, Snow Goose with the standard Western version of Capricorn. You can almost have like this innate sensitivity that you have ignored. You know, people think you're just all brass tacks, and you certainly can be that way. You can be very focused and you can be driven and you know, motivated to push forward. I mean, the goat, right? But the goat is also like the greatest of all time. But yet they always negate that the other piece. You're not just about the goat, you're the sea goat, you know? And there is that potential for you to really dive into the emotional depths, to feel very deeply, to tap into that source. And I love the symbolism of the sea goat, because if you think of the sea already has land inherent in it with that salt, you know, the salt water. And that's very similar to the lymphatic system as well. All the electrolytes that are in the lymphatic system, that is where that emotional charge is. It's in the electrolytes. So, you know, we know you run this current of energy, you know, and what is that water? That water is a conductor. So you have a way being able to hold both of these energies of the water and the earth. And when we look at it through the lens of the sea water specifically, you have this way of being able to take that intangible, that which is yet to really take form and is still fluid, and you have a way of really grounding it in material reality. That is the magic of your alchemy. But I feel like there's something that has blocked you. To me, what's coming through is it's something associated with some kind of shame. Now, this can come through like imposter syndrome. It could be that the gift that you have to share is something very sensitive, okay? It highlights a sensitivity or what you may have perceived as a weakness, but is really a vulnerability, which is a strength. It's a certain transparency. It's letting yourself be seen in a certain way that's actually very beautiful and empowering. But this is something that you may have shared with the wrong person in the past, and they shamed you about it, or you in some way took on some false idea, some BS, some belief system that told you that you were an imposter to want to, you know, explore this direction. But I feel like you're going to take the risk. And as you take this risk and you open up to this and you start sharing yourself in this way, it may be vulnerable, but I encourage you to take that risk, because there's something beautiful that comes out of this. But there's this piece about, with as much as you are community minded and you consider what's in the best interest of everyone, this year it's also so essential that you have compassion for yourself, your own journey, what you're going through, what you're integrating, what you're alchemizing, and that you be very gentle with yourself and don't be so hard on yourself and so perfectionistic, because when you move into those places inside of yourself where you feel like it has to be perfect, or it's just not good enough, it won't be accepted, or nobody will be interested in what I have to offer, there's something about it actually distorts the purity and the grace and the beauty of the gift that wants to come through you. It's not meant to be perfect. It's actually meant to be raw. It's meant to be transparent. It's meant to be vulnerable, and that's what gives it so much power. Really beautiful message here. Let me do a cut of the deck, and then we're gonna see about diving into a little tarot read for you, okay? I just kind of wanted to touch in some of these deeper energies. Yes, I mean, I think that you've been a little afraid to open up this box with Pandora's gift here, but I think it's time to stop, you know, hiding behind this false identity of who you were told you had to be a good girl or a good boy, you know. And instead, it's time to really let yourself be seen as you are. And this is what lets your light come forward. It's not about having to uphold a certain image. It's not about having to, you know, use all the filters or, you know, do shorts, you know, do reels the way everybody else does. It's not about marketing yourself. This is coming through in terms of career for some reason. So career might be a real central focus for you. I feel like there's a gift that's opening up in your career that's going to take you in a direction that you can't really see right now. I feel like when this inspiration comes in, there's an opportunity that comes with it. It's to use your voice. Your voice, like your expression, is front and center with this, whatever it is. And there's something about you feeling a little bit like, can I do this? You know, it's sort of like there's a block inside around this. So there's something to uncover here, okay? And I feel like it's a fear, or in some way you've repressed this gift that you have, this talent, this thing that you're meant to share. And what you don't realize is when you stop hiding behind who they told you had to be, whoever they are. For some of you, it was your parents. For others of you, it was a lover you had, you know. For another of you, it was a teacher you had who, you know, just sort of put a cap on your potential or told you, you know, do the responsible thing. But there's something here that when you open up to this and you face your fear, maybe face your fear of failure, you know, face your fear of looking like a fool, okay? There's something about taking the risk to drop the mask and letting this authentic expression come through you. It gives an incredible gift to you. And it just lights up your life in the most beautiful way. And I feel like it puts you on a real heart-centered path here, okay? It could also be that you're really breaking a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't fit, like, I'm just going to use yoga as the example again. It doesn't have to be yoga, okay? But this, for some reason, it's coming through. So maybe yoga is something that would be very beneficial for you to explore this year, and maybe to explore it in a way that you haven't explored it before. So when we're looking at that concept of flow, maybe it would be beneficial for you to explore more kind of flowing types of movements. So maybe some vinyasa flow, you know, if you're used to doing kind of like hatha yoga, or you're used to doing, you know, something where it's more like you enter one pose and you work that one pose and then you move to the next, as opposed to something that's more fluid, like vinyasa, where it's just like a dance, you know. And for some of you, that may be dance, okay? Might be coming forward. But I do feel like, you know, maybe there's like something that has held you back in the past in relation to that. Like, it could be, you know, you've reached a certain age in your life. And so you're starting to tell yourself, well, you know, people my age, you know, nobody wants to, you know, pay attention to what we're doing, you know, or you could think like you don't have the right look, or, you know, you don't have the right image, or I don't have the body type that, you know, people who do this do. You know, it's not about that. It's precisely because of that, actually, that you bring a huge gift forward when you share yourself authentically as you are, okay? So I'm not sure what that is for you. It could even be like a skill set thing. Maybe something just comes naturally to you and you don't have like all the degrees behind your name or something, and you're letting that hold you back. There's something about this, about your approach to it is different, and it doesn't look like the way society is defined. And I feel like you're meant to rebel against that, man. Let's see what we got here. Diving for light. There's 11. Okay, so another coming into alignment. Yeah, this is the year you get lit, man. And I feel like face recognition. I don't know why that just came in, but I feel like people will know you. Like they'll see your face and they'll be like, aren't you? So you might be doing something that kind of pushes you into a position where, you know, you kind of get known, you know, for what you do. I feel like that. there's some kind of recognition coming through here for what you do. So I don't know if you're going to be like really active on some kind of online platform, or you're just going to be pushed into a more prominent role, a more prominent position. But I do feel like people will know who you are. And it's kind of like your time to step into the spotlight. So let's go ahead and let's have a look here at, let's do this tarot. We're going to do the black and white tarot here. Yes, flow with the King of Cups, okay? Time to enter the flow. You may have a water sign coming into your life that will help teach you that flow, especially emotional flow, okay? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All right, that could be a very nice combo for you. Maybe you'll grow beautiful things together, all right? This message just coming in. What is coming in for Snow Goose for their solar return, Great Spirit? What does the good red road have in store for Snow Goose, Great Spirit, in this year of their solar return? How will 2024 enrich their life? What opportunities will it bring? What do they need to know, Great Spirit? All right, let's get a little baseline energy here. Okay, Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, isn't that interesting? So I feel like you might be very focused on your stability and what you're building for yourself, that you're not really initially focused on the romantic piece, right? You might be dealing with practical matters right now. Some of you may have kind of like closed down the emotions a little bit because you're in the process of extricating yourself from a relationship. But I do feel like once this closes out, there's somebody coming in that's going to open your heart to the possibility of love again. Yes, okay. You might even see this come in the summertime, especially around Leo season. So end of July through those opening weeks of August. This is somebody who will like make you feel those like initial like butterflies in the tummy kind of feeling, you know, like that young love sort of vibe. I don't know. Maybe some of you might, oh, interesting message. Some of you might be going to a high school reunion. You run into your first love and a little spark is lit again. That's really interesting message there. Okay. But I feel like whoever this person is, you know, they warm your heart and they help you kind of cast away the shadow of the past and step into the potential of a new way of being in relationship. I see you having fun with this person, maybe even going on a trip somewhere warm and tropical. Okay, that's lovely. They could be a Leo. They could have a strong Leo placement in their chart. That's a possibility. They could also be somebody who's more in the public eye. All right. Yeah, but first you have to kind of like close this out. I feel like you're a little bit in hermit mode right now. There's something that you recently had to walk away from. You invested a lot of your time, your energy, your heart in this direction. This was not an easy choice for you, but you knew that your heart was calling you forward in a new direction, and you're just sort of trusting your own intuition about this and how it's leading you forward as you move into this solar return year. And here you are. I mean, I think you made a wise choice in going after this thing. I feel like you're in the process of kind of unpacking this stuff of the past so you don't have to drag a bunch of bags behind you into your future. I think you're wanting to travel light. I think you feel optimistic. You're ready to take some risks. A lot of you are going to be traveling, and a trip will lead to a new beginning in life, all right? There's something really significant about this. You will go on a trip and it'll actually lead you to take some major leap of faith. Now, when you do this, some people might kind of be like cautioning you or trying to discourage you. And I think you know what you're doing. And what I'm getting coming through right now is you really have to trust your gut on this, okay? You know, they're used to you being the responsible one. They're used to you being the one that holds everything down, that keeps everything grounded, okay? And it's your time. I really feel like this, like you're turning things around. It's not all about, you know, making sure that, you know, everybody else is stabilized while you feel weighed down in your own life. I feel like you're ready for some adventure. You're ready for some enthusiasm. You're ready to feel really engaged in your life again. And I feel like there's a little bit of wanting to like go out there in the world and just discover some new things, meet some new people, have some fresh experiences. And I do see you opening a major new chapter. Okay, what is this new chapter about? Well, first you got to get through this red tape BS. First, you got to get through the man, okay? Because this is what's crossing you is the Hierophant. All those authority figures, all those people saying, well, you can't do that. Don't you start bucking tradition now. I think you are bucking a tradition, and that's what's a little bit rebellious here. This could have something to do with an Aquarius or an Aries that inspires you. What you're bumping up against is that Taurus energy, okay? Very stubborn, earth, bullish energy. I also feel like some of you are dealing with wrapping up some kind of technicality. Some of you are extricating yourself from some kind of situation. For some of you, it might be like a really sort of, it's got like a real kind of like, you know, kind of structured job. This would be like a corporate kind of job or working for some kind of establishment, very rules oriented, administrative kind of work, you know, and you're wanting to branch out in a new direction and take a risk, and you're kind of like weighing that up against the proposition of having to sort of like leave the good stable thing or the responsible thing to really, you know, try your hand at what's lighting you up. I think you're going to overcome this, because when we have the Hierophant come in, it's always like a yes. Like, are you going to take the leap? Yes. But are you going to deliberate about it endlessly first? So as you deliberate about this, once you get your vision and your inspiration coming in, which I feel will come in on a trip, it's going to be really important for you to remember to look toward that north wind for your inspiration, to keep your head clear, to help you trust and align with grace, to just be able to give yourself over to where your spirit's directing you to go. Okay, so remember to, you know, get your clear quartz out, you know, clear the channel. Connect with the birch element. Maybe even if you can find a birch tree that can become like an ally, maybe a place where you just go and you sit and maybe offer a little tobacco to the roots of the tree in gratitude, you know, bring in some of that rooted, you know, tradition that you enjoy, that stabilizes you, and sit with your tree friend, you know, get to know the dryads a little bit, and have them support you and feeling grounded even as you prepare to like reach for new heights, just like tree medicine does. You know, it's rooted, it's grounded, but it also can reach very high towards the heavens. And I feel like that's what you're doing. Like your sights are going to be aligned with your north node. And you know, like, this is my destiny. Like, I got to go for this. Like, this feels right. When this comes in, it's a confirmation of like the download you get from spirit. And you can't ignore it, all right? But you are going to bump up against the man. And some of you are in the process of clearing, like closing out something legally. Like if you are getting out of a marriage, you're waiting for all that to be finalized. Some of you may be in the middle of some kind of legal case or something like that. Something that you're having to wrap up, tie up loose ends around. And then once you're free of this, then you get to move forward, okay? So I see that as kind of like acting like a blockage. But I think a lot of it has to do with your fear. Like, oh gosh, if I leave this, am I going to suffer financially? Am I going to, you know, be in a position where all of a sudden I'm unstable now? I don't think you want that for yourself. So this feels like the little roadblock you might come up against. Remember, there's those blocks, the ways you hold yourself back. So let's see, what's the reality, you know, if Snow Goose takes flight, you know, heads toward that north of inspiration and, you know, goes for it, you know? follows the inspiration, follows the vision, follows what lights them up. You know, how will that turn out on a practical level for Snow Goose, since this seems to be what's really front and center. Ooh. I just got like everything but the kitchen sink. So you might be like throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this thing, you know, trying to think of possibilities. You might be really working yourself up in mental knots when the time comes to make this decision, all right? And this card just flew out, and it flew on top of my Shadow and Light deck, so we'll have a look at this next. I love that. The Fool's gonna win out, okay? It's all brand new for you. This is meant to be. And so what you're kind of experiencing is a clashing between the old and the new. It's like your old way of life, your old identity, which I feel like, yeah, you know, it takes care of things, you know, it keeps things nice and stable, but does it really make you feel alive? No. And I think there's sort of this rebellion that's going to be growing with you. I feel like this is really going to come in for you near the end of January as Pluto goes direct into Aquarius. I think you're really going to feel the advent of that dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's going to like expand your mind, and you're going to want to move forward into the flow of that expansion. Anything that you're involved in that like keeps you feeling too rigid, or like you're in a box, or like locked into an old way of being or old identity, or even where you're living. If like where you're living just feels kind of boring to you, it doesn't allow you to like have new experiences, see something new, you know, interact with diverse, you know, people from different backgrounds. Like there's something about this, like it's going to start to feel like an oppressive force for you, and you're going to want to break free of it. You're going to want something different. And that's why I feel like you're going to go on a trip, and this trip is going to be very pivotal here. Now let me see what this is about, because it landed on this top card. Huh. And I was asking, how would it be for you materially? If you follow your North Node, look at, there's your house, 10th house, okay? 10 of diamonds, man, in the light. This is your destiny. Big, big payoff, okay? But the beauty of it, it's not just a payoff in terms of, you know, financial abundance, which I think you'll be very well taken care of. But it's the payoff in really feeling grounded in the truth of who you are and what you're here to do. And you're just going to feel a lot of reward from this. This is like something that you can really stand on and feel proud of. And I do feel like there's going to be like some kind of spotlight on you for this. Like you're going to be known for this thing. Whatever it is you're going to be doing, people will know your face. Like, so that gives me the impression that maybe you've kind of been in the shadows, or maybe you've always played a supportive role, but you're going to let yourself kind of stand and take center stage in whatever this is that you do. And your name will be in good standing for it. You know, I got really good energy around your 10th house. So you'll be well respected. You'll be well known for this, and you'll get the recognition for it too. Let's go ahead and do one round of these, okay? Because I want to see about this. Tell me a little bit more about this spirit for Snow Goose. This activation of their North Node. That's what it feels like. Queen of Diamonds. Yes, Snow Goose. Discover, learn, and play, okay? Let yourself discover, learn, and play. It puts you in your element with the Queen of Diamonds here. This is like you are ready to like receive this abundance. You are ready to step into this. This has everything to do with you've done a lot of work, and you've really arrived at a place where you know your worth and you know your value. You also know what has true value to you in your life. And it's not just about being able to pay the rent and being able to have food on the table. It's not. Yes, those things are important. But it's also about like your core values and what feeds you, what nourishes you on a soul level. And I feel like you're aligning with this. And really, this is a beautiful energy. Discover, learn, and play, okay? You're meant to head in this direction, so don't question it. and know that you are worth this investment. Like, you deserve to make an investment in your dreams for once. It's not just about you like playing a supportive role all the time, okay? All right, anything else? What am I drawn to? Anything else that I want to bring in? Ted's back there slurping on the water, reminding you, go with the flow, okay? Go with the flow. Bring in a little bit more of your watery quality, okay? Bottom of the deck, super awesome future deck. Yes, the trip is going to be the key. I feel like the trip that you take, it's odd, man. It's odd. It will require you to kind of like step outside of a box that you've put yourself in, or you've allowed others to put you in, right? It is a risk. When you head in this direction, it's going to be a risk. It's like the ending of one identity, one way you've always seen yourself, or other people have seen you, one phase of your life, to stepping into something brand new. But it's an adventure, all right? And you're looking at things clearly. You got your eyes set on the road ahead of you. You know, you don't got your head in the sand. You're definitely in your power. I feel like if you trust this, you move forward very rapidly, and it does activate your North Node. It activates your destiny. And I feel like you're going to move. I do feel like you're going to move. I don't know what this is about. You may go and stay somewhere else for a while. Even if you don't completely move home. There is something about spending a significant amount of time in a place that's unfamiliar to you. I feel this, okay? And it's a positive thing. It's a little bit of a risk, you know, but there's something beautiful that comes out of it. Now, it just came in when I said this, but I did get ashram. So some of you, if you are exploring a yogic path, you may go off and, you know, study to become a yoga teacher. You may do that overseas. You may go and spend some time at an ashram while you're studying, okay, or in some kind of spiritual community. This is possible. All right, so I just want to bring that in. That's not for everybody, but I do feel like somebody who's going to receive this read is heading in that direction, so I just have to bring it through. I don't think that's the first time it came through. I think when I did the 2024 for Capricorn, that yogic piece came in as well. Okay, so there may be something to explore there, even if you've never considered it. I don't know. You might want to explore yoga as a way to get more in touch with your subtle body. Okay. There's many different paths of yoga too. Look at, I just happened to notice that on the bottom of the deck there, the spaceship. You got like some kind of brand new chapter coming into your life. It's going to be like ground control to Major Tom. Like, you're going to feel like you're like in a whole other world, man. You know, this is like meeting a whole new group of people, a whole new cast of characters coming in, a lot of expansion in your life. Like, your reach is expanding. I also feel like your reach is expanding. Your broadband reach is expanding. Like, you're picking up a lot more signals. You're really getting in touch with your intuition. There's a lot of guidance coming in for you, and a lot of soulmates, soul family coming in for you this year. You're aligning with a whole new cast of characters, and you're about to start a brand new chapter in your life. It's significant, okay? But you're wrapping something up. Like, right now you're at the juxtaposition point. This thing will take off soon. I feel like Aquarius season is when this really starts to brew for you. All right, so let's just see. Super awesome future deck. Yeah, you are ending something. You are in the process of closing something out. This is what's creating a change in your life. I think you're trying to leave this on good terms. You want to remember the good times. You want to remember the magic it gave you. And you're not trying to leave this in such a way where there's negativity between you. I think you'll be able to achieve that. But you're definitely choosing to walk away from something and head in a new direction. All right. For some of you, it's a relationship. Okay. For others of you, it is a friendship, okay? Somebody who played a central figure role in your life, but you just realize you've outgrown each other, okay? And for others of you, it's leaving a particular line of work that started to feel way too confining. All right, and that just went on top of that white light oracle and the crystals. So, and that went over there. Okay. So there are a few messages coming through here. Let me see. Crossing influence. Okay, there's some kind of temptation here that you're going to have to be aware of. You're really going to have to keep your wits about you. Some of you, not all of you, may be tempted. You know, you might, for those of you who are currently in a relationship where you're really not satisfied and you are kind of drawn in different directions and you're not sure what you should do and you're feeling very tempted. I'm not talking about people that are very certain that they're with the right person, you know, and everything's great. If you got that going on, that's awesome, okay? And I'm also not talking about people who got to the place where they really realized, no, I've outgrown my relationship, and you've already filed for divorce and you moved on. Some of you who are currently in relationship and having challenges where you're feeling drawn in other directions, okay? I want to bring this in because this can be a block for you. You want to be very mindful that you have some people around you who may be trying to sway you in a direction that might not be in your best interest, okay? So you might want to spend some time in the south end of the medicine wheel, which is very grounding. And there's that birch medicine coming in, the tree medicine, to get rooted and get clear so you can get in touch with your higher wisdom about what's needed for transformation in this situation. Because there is this piece here of there could be people in your circle trying to kind of talk in your ear and lead you in a direction that actually would really destabilize you and may not be in your best interest. No matter what you decide to do in this situation, remember that piece of you have the potential hold great power, which means you also have to use your power very responsibly. And this piece also came through about having compassion, not only for yourself, but for others as well. And you may be afraid to talk about this with your partner. So if you are having this experience, all right, and you know if you are, so if you're not in this position, this isn't for you, but this is for someone. So we're bringing it forward here. Now might be the time to kind of open up to your partner instead of turning to other people. And for those of you who have already left a relationship, you may have learned this from what you went through, how it was really a disadvantage to let other people in on what was happening between you and your partner, because that's ultimately what drove you apart. I feel like there is some seed of this that you're taking forward in the future. There may have even been some kind of codependency in the connection that you needed to separate yourself from. There also could have been somebody that you were dealing with that was ill, or this could be kind of trailing in a little bit. It might be one of the things that's sort of holding you back as you feel like you have to be there to take care of someone. So this is somebody's story. You know, you might be dealing with a relationship where it's kind of become a bit codependent, and you might be dealing with somebody who's also struggling with some kind of illness. This could be anyone from a parent to a lover, all right? And so I see that there can be this sense of obligation and duty, and certainly if you are helping to support somebody that is in hospice, this may be something that will kind of hold back your plans initially. I could see this, all right? I could see this, but I do know that you're going to get beyond it, all right? But this may be something that holds back your plans at a point. I'm picking up more that it's like an elder, like it could be a family member goes through a period of sickness or needs some kind of support, some kind of caregiver support. And so you might be held back a little bit before you can leap forward. This might tie you up at the crossroads a little bit, but I think that you will get beyond this. It did kind of land on top of this tarot deck. Yes, Ace of Swords, okay. This might happen in the winter. Five of Pentacles. Yes, there's some kind of loss that happens here. It might come through in the winter, all right? So I don't know if you were dealing with this at the tail end of 2023, or if this is something that is coming up here in the next couple months. It's also possible that you won't see this until the end of 2024, next winter, okay? But Ace of Swords tends to be a timing card. There might be legalities associated with this, you know, just in helping support somebody who maybe does need some kind of hospice care, or if you're dealing with something with the hospitals, this piece is coming in. But I do feel like something is being negotiated and taken care of here. And you will get to the other side of it. So also be aware in a situation like that, just listening to what other people have to say about it who are outsiders to the situation, because there's just the tendency for manipulation to be very strong here. You know what to do. I feel like you have some responsibility in this situation. You've been put in a position of power. And you're the one who's like executing these decisions about this person's health care and the support that they're needing. So there might be other people with their own agendas who are trying to like sway you in another direction. I feel like you just got to hold the line and see this through. You will get beyond this. Let me see what's here, because, oh, we already looked at that. Okay, I'll look at the other one. Yes, okay, because there can be the tendency for somebody to try like kind of like work the situation where they can be in a more advantageous position. This could be somebody who's really down on their luck financially. So if there's any kind of process going on that also involves some kind of settlement or some kind of estate, you know, this person could be trying to slant, you know, you in a direction where they actually benefit. So just be very mindful of being led astray when that comes in. And this card is very important because it landed here. Okay, we do got house, all right? And I'm going to look at this card because it landed right on top of your quartz crystal there. And, you know, this is the thing. Clarity. Okay, I feel like you're going to need to have a lot of clarity when it comes to making decisions about your home, your living situation. A lot of this has to do with the inspiration that's going to come through for you. Might like make some old insecurities, some fears, some shoulds pop up in your consciousness that could act as roadblocks to you stepping into this thing. But you are definitely meant to go for this with Garuda, Suparna here. This is about taking flight. This is directed by spirit. This is you heading into your north node. And again, you know, I'm seeing these fireworks here. So there might be something that comes through in Leo season that really gets you moving forward with this thing. And it's the dawning of a whole new beginning for you that takes you into a chapter in your life where, quite frankly, you know, this is totally guided by spirit. Like, this thing is going to come in and it's going to take a hold of your life and you're going to run with it. And it leads you to a lot of success and you are just going to be soaring high. It does bring a lot of blessings though, because Garuda is associated with both Vishnu and Lakshmi. So don't hesitate. Trust, take the leap, get your wings. And I think you'll love where you land.